What's up, guys? Captain Raygun here, and today I'm going to do a very emotional video for me. It's something I feel like I should get off my chest because it's something I don't talk about a lot, and it's something that affects me every day. You know, what reminded me of it was my friend Megan had her baby today, baby Lillian. Uh, Congratulations, Megan, that's awesome. But it reminded me of something. On September 27th, 2012, I welcomed in to this world my son. And you know, a lot of people ask me how come I don't have my son. You know, a lot of people that around me a lot, like, well, why don't you ever bring your son with you? I was like, well, I don't see my son. I haven't seen him since he was 6 days old. You know, and it's something that really affects me. But you know, that was something cool that I think about every day. When he was first born, you know, when babies cry like crazy, I just put my hand on his chest, and I guess the warmth of my hand and my voice made him quit crying because he knew it was okay. I just said, "It's okay, buddy. Daddy's here," and he quit crying. And everyone in the room, me was like, "Oh man, that's weird." And it's due to the fact that every day I talked to my son, I read stories to him while he was inside his mom. I did a lot, you know, and I don't know if it was that, like he knew that that's who I am, but you know, it's something that always makes me smile when I think about it. Anyways, let's keep moving. So I'm not gonna edit this video in any way. I'm gonna just be straight and honest with you. So basically, leading up to the events of my son being born was problems that we never seen, me and his mom. You know, they just kept building up till eventually, nature would have it, they blew up. You know, we thought we had a pretty good relationship going on. You know, we'd fight, but we'd get over it really quick. You know, and it's something that was just okay. Well, that fight's over. Let's go eat. Let's go out. Let's go on a date. You know, really call them dates. I mean, we'd go out to dinner and we'd just hang out, just me and her. You know, we usually hung out anyways, but it was like we actually went out and did things. But but I guess those just things that we both didn't see that just piled up. So I'm not strictly saying it's her fault. I'm not strictly saying it's my fault. You know, it's a combination of both of us not realizing the problems and just not being able to fix them once they started happening. So, you know, for 2 years now, I've been dealing with the thoughts of me not seeing my son. Uh, you know, it's hard, but I understand why. You know, she asked me one day. She said, should I live with my mom or with my aunt?" And her aunt, you know, I felt was more capable of helping her along the way. You know, I'm not bashing on her mom, but it was just something I felt because I've met both of them. I've been around both of them, and I was like, you should probably go with your aunt for, you know, because there's more room there for you and the baby. Uh, you know, there's less hassle there. Little did I know that would be my downfall, was choosing that, because her aunt was a Mormon, and I know his mom doesn't know this, but I know what she was saying behind my back. You know, in person, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, Russell, you're such a great dad," all this stuff, but behind my back, she was saying that I'm not a Mormon. It will never work out. I'll never get a job. I'll never be able to provide for my son. All that kind of stuff. So, you know, I knew, and that affected me too because it was, you know, what else are you supposed to do when you thought someone you could trust with helping you start your family and help the mom be a good mom, and you're behind someone's back talking shit. So, you know, I didn't let it affect me. I was like, whatever, fuck it. I don't care. but deep down, it kind of did. It was like one of those kind of things where I didn't think about it, but in the back of my head, it was like, you're a fuck up. You're a loser. All that kind of stuff, where it was just like, whatever. And, you know, so we eventually broke up because of, just the problems went too far, and I mean, I basically blew off going in the Navy to be a dad. Because I knew going in the Navy, I'd miss most of my son's childhood. And I didn't want to do that. I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to be a dad. So I didn't go in the Navy. Well, there was another reason too, but the main reason was like, as soon as they said your ship date's delayed, I was like, that's it. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna be a dad. So I did that. I basically told the Navy, adios. It was something that could have lasted me till I was 32 years old. A job, basically. And I chose to be a dad instead. So then I started looking for work. I got a job. Well, they told me I was hired, but my background check took long to come back, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, our hiring process isn't going right now, so you have to wait." Which I was like, "Well, I already have a job. You said that," but I was whatever. So I continued looking for jobs. Well, nothing ever arose, and eventually, after that whole problem, is when we broke up. After I didn't get that job, is when we broke up because I think she was starting to see that her aunt may have been right. And, so we broke up because of it. And then I, few weeks after my son was born, I made the decision of running to California. I wasn't running for my son. I was running from that. I was running from my own problems. Because being in the same town and not being able to see my son, it was hard. Cause she basically said I wasn't allowed to see my son unless her family members were there. And I said, that's not going to happen. It's my son. I'll see him without your family. If I want to come pick him up and take him out, and hang out with him, take him to a park and just sit there with him, I will. And she said, no, you won't. I was like, okay then. And I told her, because I knew when we broke up, I'd be paying child support then. I knew that. And I told her, I was like, okay, how about split custody? Because I knew she'd be the sole provider for the son. And when I said split custody, I basically meant visitation rights without her family being there. And she basically said, hell no. And, so I just was like, okay, that's your choice. Don't come back for child support later then. Because I knew split custody was child support. And so then, I was getting kicked out of the place I was at because I couldn't find a job. And so I basically told my dad, I was like, Dad, I'm coming down to you. I'm coming down to live with you. He's like, oh, okay. So I packed up in the middle of the night. I packed up mainly during the day, like secretly. And then on I think it was a Sunday night at 8 o'clock p.m., I left Moses Lake for good. And I came to California. And it took 3 weeks for people to realize I wasn't living there when I was posting that I was living in California. These people that were my so-called friends never realized I was gone. So, a few weeks in California, people were like, hey, dude, come on over, we're going to hang out. And I was like, I'm in California, dude. They're like, oh, you are? I was like, yeah, you've been liking my statuses on Facebook saying, hey, I live in California, my new place is awesome, all that stuff, and you still don't know? So, it kind of hurt. I lost a lot of friends over this. Over, basically breaking up with her. I lost a lot of friends. And I don't blame them, because why not? I understand. But, yeah. God, this is hard. So it's been 2 years since I've seen my son. Basically. Almost 2 years. He'll be 2 years old on September 27th. And, It's something I never talk about, is being a dad. On Father's Day, I made sure no one said Happy Father's Day to me. Because what I've done, I'm not a father. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not. Yeah, he might have my DNA, but it takes more than that to be a dad, and I know that. Whoever raises him now is his dad, not me. I'm just a name. That's all he'll ever know me by, probably, is just a name. You know, I'd love to be able to see him. I would. But I know it won't happen. And that's the part that hurts me the most. And it is something that, when I think about it, I do think I have depression because of it. It's hard. But out of it came, this little love thing here. Yeah, I got a dog. My little Robin. Look at her. Look how cute she is. Okay, go. Go, baby. Ugh. I got her because it was something I've always wanted. I know it doesn't compare to having a son, but it's someone I can raise. If I could take anything back, I'd take back leaving. In a heartbeat. I'd throw away my whole life now, living down here in California. I'd go back, and I'd make sure everything was fine. I'd fix everything. But that's enough of that. It won't ever happen. I've thought about swallowing my pride. I've thought about it. But I just think it's going to happen if I do. Because, like I said, the main problem was I was not a Mormon, and she is now. It won't work out, because I won't become a Mormon. I just felt like I should share that with you guys. I'm sorry the video is so long. But if you watched, thank you. Thank you for hearing my story. You guys are awesome. And I see you guys soon. Bye, guys.